Everyone, Dave Stoyer here. All right, let's talk a little bit about our filtering organs. Well, what does that mean? It means that our body relies on a system of taking things in, breaking them down, figuring out which parts that we want to use, right, that are going to benefit our cells, whether it's for energy, cellular repair, immune system, whatever, right? It's going to find the parts of food or the waters or the fluids, whatever it is in our environment. Our body's going to figure out what it wants, breaks those things out and uses them, but what does it do with the rest? How do we get rid of or dispose of the rest? Well, there's a filtering system in our body that is charged with that process. Primarily your liver, your kidneys. Does that make sense? So you have different organs that are designed to filter out the toxins, the products that we don't need. So let's go into the best way that we can help to support this system, because this is very, very important. All right, let's talk about the overall process here of cleansing our filtering organs. There are a few ways that we can do this. My suggestion is that by using doTERRA's two different blended products, one is called the Zendocrine Complex. We're going to talk about that in a second. And the other one is the Zendocrine Soft Gels, which is an essential oil-based product, that we're going to find that our filtering organs are going to be running at highest level or highest capacity. This is really important when you're doing any form of a cleanse or a weight loss program, or you're trying to change your emotional onset or emotional outset, right? You want to be happier, healthier. Why? Because toxic burden is a huge issue for the body. Those aren't just catchphrases. You know, it's a really popular thing right now to talk about our toxic load. But it's a really big deal, because if the body can't cleanse itself of toxins, then we spend a huge disproportionate amount of energy trying to fix a problem that should naturally be occurring on its own. We shouldn't need to be exhausting additional resources or energy or stress or inflammation to reduce or get rid of those things. Does that make sense? So we really want to make sure that this is a primal part of our daily strategy. So let's talk a little bit about this. First and foremost, what are the differences and the similarities between doTERRA's two products? So the reason why I've chosen these is I think they're some of the most well-made products that are on the market today. And here is what they do. First, let's talk about the soft gels. So a soft gel by definition is nothing more than a little way in which you can put a fluid or it's basically your delivery mechanism, right? So think of it kind of like if you went out to the grocery store and you wanted to make yourself a milkshake, and you want to figure out how to take that milkshake to work. And you figured out, well, if I got a Ziploc bag and I open this Ziploc bag up and I pour my milkshake inside and I close it up, hey, I've got myself a delivery mechanism, right? So that's a soft gel. All it is the Ziploc bag that's holding the important stuff inside. In this case, that's the essential oil compounds. So you have a broad array of different essential oils that are in here. I'm not going to go into the specifics of each one, whether it's juniper, etc., right? I don't want to go into those right now. But understand that the compounds, the chemistry within that little Ziploc bag, if you will, the little soft gel, is extremely powerful. And those compounds are designed to assist your liver, your kidney, for instance, in identifying free radicals, identifying toxins, and allowing those to be bound together and excreted more efficiently. All right? So that's one of the primary processes here, is this right here. It helps to cleanse the body of these specific toxins and free radicals. That's very, very important. Anytime we can help the body to eliminate those things more efficiently, we're going to be healthier, period. Second, what can we do to actually amplify the way in which the liver, the kidney, for instance, what can we do to help those to amplify their natural process? So remember, the soft gels, they bind to different toxins. They help to reduce those free radicals so that they can be passed through the liver and kidneys more efficiently. But what if your kidney or liver isn't working as efficiently as it can be or should be? That's where the complex comes into play. All right? So when you get a blend of different types of enzymes, which are basically proteins that are designed to help break down foods, break down little molecules so that they can be more efficiently excreted, you've aided your liver or kidney in its natural function. All right? Otherwise, the liver has to figure out its own mechanism for breaking down these complex molecules to excrete them efficiently. That's what the complex does. Basically, it has a series of different enzymes, and those things are designed to identify, hey, this molecule's kind of big, cumbersome, and clunky. Let me bind to it, break it into smaller pieces so that the liver can now function more efficiently. It can excrete those things more efficiently. It doesn't have to generate more inflammation. It doesn't have to generate and use more energy. Does it make sense, the difference between the two? All right, so let's move on then. What are some things that we can do that we absolutely need to be doing to augment this? Because I don't believe in magic pills. I don't believe in magic silver bullet moments in life, right? So if you're consistently eating or doing or consuming things in this part of your life that aren't great, but you're hoping that by taking doTERRA's awesomely well-formulated products that it's going to somehow alleviate this system, guess what? It's only going to do so much. So we really need to focus on those things that we need to be doing to amplify that process. So first and foremost, you need to be drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. Period. End of story. If you don't like water in and of itself, no problem. Add lemon. Lemon's wonderful. It has a tremendous amount of additional benefits. May I suggest adding essential oil? Lemon essential oil or grapefruit essential oil are wonderful. Great additions. 2 drops, 10-ounce glass. It's going to provide a lot of additional benefits to the body. Okay? Second, we want to be consuming high fiber-based vegetable juices. One of the big mistakes we make, though, is when people say, hey, I like healthy foods, right? So you go to the store and you find your strawberries and your blackberries and you get your peas and your corns and all these things, right? And you're going to start making different food groups out of them. We sometimes forget that just because it's organic, that it's beautiful, that it's colored nicely, that we think that food we can consume it in endless supplies. And the answer is that's not true. We need to be very careful in how we consume these, and that is very, very, very true when it comes to juices. All right, so be careful what you're doing when it comes to juices for cleansing. Stick with fruits that are not starch heavy and that are not I just said that, but not sugar heavy or starch heavy. All right, so we want to be talking about things that these are the things you don't want. You don't want lots of your oranges, your peaches, your strawberries. You want to be consuming things that are like your sweet potatoes, your spinach, your beets. Make those into your juices and add those to your smoothies, for instance, or add those to your glass of water. You know, crush up some ice, blend up that beet, and lastly, try and include the fiber from that juicing. The fiber is incredibly efficient at helping your body be as healthy as it can be, okay? Has a tremendous amount of different variables that come out of fiber. From everything from reducing negative bacterial colonization in the gut to leveling your insulin levels, right? So fiber has a tremendous value. All right, next, potassium-rich foods. We want to be consuming very high potassium-rich foods. Those are going to, and then I've got a few listed, but if you jump online, you can find a huge list of them. But these are some of the best. Beets, sweet potatoes, bananas. Everyone thinks bananas are the highest. They actually have a decent level of potassium, but they're not highest. So you need to be careful with bananas because too much banana consumption can lead to, may I say, some additional distressing concerns in this nether region right here. So things like sweet potatoes, your beets, your spinaches. Does that make sense? Those things are high in potassium. They're great to be juiced. They've got a tremendous amount of fiber content. They're going to help to regulate sugar levels. And what's amazing is it helps the liver to functionally cleanse at a much higher level. Okay? So that's very important. One of the last things, I really want you to focus on removing toxic thoughts. So interesting studies have been done to find that people who eat very healthy, people who try and eliminate different types of foods from their diet, for instance, alcohols, tobaccos, etc., and they're eating healthy, but yet if they still retain negative or self-defeating thoughts, it generates a very interesting problem, and that is that we harbor certain aspects of our emotional state in different organ systems. Seems weird, doesn't it? But it's very true. So for example, if you find yourself being very self-limiting, very defeating in your thought process, then you're going to literally generate an increase in acidity in the stomach. You're going to cause an increase in acid production. You're going to cause a decrease in glutathione production in the liver, which is its natural free radical binder there in the cells. And here's what's really interesting, is that creates a decrease in levels of dopamine and serotonin. So not only have you eliminated your ability to feel happier and be proud of who you are, but you've created a genuine inflammatory problem now in the liver and in these filtering organs. So quite literally, toxic thought can lead to toxic buildup in these organs. So it's imperative that we absolutely and passionately own who we are. Be proud of who you are. Love who you are. Let go of those toxic thoughts. It's hard to do, I know that, but it's imperative. Okay? Lastly, we need to eliminate our toxic foods. Some of those are hard for some people. Your alcohols. Some people love to have their glass of wine at night, but I hate to tell you, that alcohol is very much a toxic food. It is toxic to the liver. By definition, alcohol in and of itself is a toxin. So the idea that taking some of these wonderful doTERRA supplements, right? You're doing the complex, you're doing the Zendocrine, you're eating healthy, you're eating a high fiber diet with good healthy fats, you're exercising, and then at night you want to have your glass or two of wine. Here's the bummer, is that alcohol in and of itself functions as a massive acute inflammation in the liver. The liver does not see that glass of wine as a way in which you can relax at the end of a busy day, put your feet up on the couch, and take a breather. That's not what happens inside the body. The body doesn't see it that way, unfortunately. All right? So we need to be able to eliminate some of these toxic foods. And then in terms of dosing and regulation, my recommendation is the following. If you're following along with a surge protocol, I want you to be taking these from day one. If you're not doing the bone broth cleanse, which is the first 4 days, right? If you're not doing the bone broth cleanse, you are going to be taking 2 of each. Okay? You're going to be taking 2 of the complex and 2 of the soft gels. You're going to take those at breakfast and at dinner. Those are imperative to help get rid of a lot of the toxins that you're going to be cleansing your body by changing so many other habits. Because remember, you're changing a lot about who you are. So we need to allow those to be excreted in a healthy and functional way. All right? So best to everyone. Have a killer day. And I hope that you stay healthy and love yourself. Bye-bye.